Hello, seniors, families, parents. It's Gdowski, Superintendent. Wanted to share a message with you about graduation. And I thought some of you are probably getting tired of just seeing me sitting here behind the desk with the same old background. So I've got a few props in hand, given that we're on the heels of Easter. And there's an analogy to some of the work we've been doing around graduation that I think fits pretty well with baskets. We've all heard the adage about don't put all your eggs in one basket. And that really summarizes well the work that high school leaders and other leaders in our system have been doing to come up with a really great graduation plan. We know there's lots of students that would like us to put all of our eggs in this basket here. We'll call this the in-person traditional graduation ceremony. And I get why most of you, not all of you, but why most of you would want to put all the eggs in that basket. That's the graduation that all of us heretofore have had and that we want for you to have too. But the reason why we don't put all the eggs in a single basket in life is that when you do that, you're putting a lot of risk potentially in one place. If you drop the basket or you get a hole in the basket, obviously bad things happen to the eggs inside. And likewise, there's some risk in putting all of our eggs in the in-person graduation basket. Some of those risks include the possibility that we have some students who are medically fragile, have medical conditions, and they won't be able to attend an in-person graduation if that's the one and only way that we celebrate this great accomplishment of completing all the years of schooling in K-12. We just have some students who can't do it. There's also risks that we could get really close to the day of the ceremony and the public health circumstances may be such that they tell us we just can't go forward. So we could pull the plug and be without doing anything to celebrate this accomplishment for you. There's a lot of other possibilities around in-person graduations that are tough to predict right now. You may or may not have masks on for a ceremony like that. It could just be students. You might be able to have parents or siblings or grandparents. Most likely heavily restricted, ticket restricted venues. All of those things are in the mix. And that's why we're planning to put eggs in that basket and to find a time late July, early August to have an in-person graduation opportunity, but we're not able to put all of our eggs in that basket because of the risks, both for some kids not being able to participate and because of the possibility that it could be canceled on us at the last minute. And hence we're putting some eggs in this basket here. This is the virtual graduation basket. A lot of upsides to this one and a lot of downsides too. We know it falls well short of what kids have dreamed about, parents, family members have dreamed about for many, many years. The upsides around a virtual graduation is that we know every single student can participate, whether they're a medically fragile student, if there's someone who's going to join the military here later in May and be deployed off to basic training or elsewhere, if you're a student who might not be here because you've relocated come July or August, or you started college or some other chapter of your life. The upside to a virtual graduation is that all of the students in those kinds of circumstances are able to be a part of it and celebrate their important accomplishment as well. So we're planning to put some eggs in a virtual graduation basket that would happen in May. Lots of eggs in this in-person basket as well, where we hope to do an outdoor, most likely, ceremony, subject to all those variables I talked about. And then there's some eggs in this other basket, actually a bowl. Got this bowl from a village woman in a small island community in the Okavango Delta in Botswana last summer. It's one of my favorite things on my desk to look at each day. Got a couple of eggs in this basket, and I would say this is the smaller high school basket. It includes places like Pathways and Vantage Point, our charter schools that tend to have much smaller graduating classes, and they may have students with needs and interests that putting the eggs in both of these baskets may not be the best path for them. There could be situations, for example, where a drive-in graduation and just a drive-in graduation works well for one or more of those schools. And so we want to be able to accommodate that when it works best for that community of students and parents. So that's where we stand now. All of the plans we're committed to getting out to you next week, which is the week of the 27th, I believe. With the big caveat that there's some things, especially this basket over here in terms of in-person, that we know there's a lot of things beyond our control that can influence whether it happens and how it happens. Hope that you'll be patient with us. The other thing that I just want to put out there and have on your minds is there's some skepticism in some of the conversations I've been involved with in state level officials about high school seniors conducting themselves in a way that public health officials and others could trust to be respectful of social distancing. A lot of people say, of course you can expect second lieutenants in the Air Force to be 8 feet apart and follow the rules because of all of the training they've had and the commitment they have to serve our country for years thereafter. I know you're younger. I know the stakes aren't the same as being a second lieutenant in the Air Force, but I really do trust all of our students. If we have the opportunity and privilege of doing a outdoor graduation and in-person graduation this year, that you'll step up and be responsible, follow the rules, and allow us to continue that. The worst thing that could happen would be on the first one of those to be in a spot where a student or many students don't live up to the expectations we've got to live by with social distancing, and we get shut down for all the other graduations that we have planned. So those are some thoughts, and that's a roadmap for where we're headed down the road. In the meantime, please continue to be patient. Know that we're going to do a lot of things beyond what I've described here to make graduation a special time for you. We have interest, teachers do, in seeing you in person at some time before late July or August. We hope to have some plans finalized for that soon. We look forward to having some inspirational speakers beyond people like me who aren't all that inspiring, who have important messages to deliver to you this time. And if we wind up having the privilege of doing both ceremonies out of both baskets here, we're committed to having them look different so that it's not just a repeat of both. I want it to be meaningful and special and worth your time to participate in both. So that's what's coming. Keep your eyes open. There'll be more messaging coming out from the district and from your principal next week. Take care and have a great weekend.